Hot press, cold press, rough, mixed media paper. Which one is actually right for you? Hi, I'm MK, your Italian watercolor friend, and today we're comparing these Meeden paper blocks to see how they handle the most common watercolor techniques. So make yourself comfortable because this is going to be a very thorough testing video. These products were kindly sent to me by Meeden, and I'll be giving you my most honest opinion on all 4 of them. And if you like what you're seeing and maybe you think you want to try them, I do have a discount code for you, which I'm gonna leave in the description below. And now let's dive into it. Okay, let's start with this paper block. I love the fact that it has a spiral bound. Super practical to have all your sketches, all your swatches in one place. It's made of cellulose paper and its weight is half of the cotton paper. We're going to see how it's going to behave compared to the other papers. And the highlight of the sketchbook to me, it's kind of like it comes with 60 sheets. So much paper. Let's now put it to the test. I'm going to do a little doodle. My palette is out here, and let's do a simple flower petal. That's how I test my colors and how I get new ideas for different paintings. I love working wet on wet in the first washes. I already have a pre-mixed purple tone, which that's what I'm using, so some French ultramarine and quinacridone magenta. Grab a little bit of that brighter red, so pearl red too. Let's not forget this is cellulose paper, which is what I'm used to when I'm planning for a painting, when I'm trying new color combinations. The pressure is just lower and I feel more expressive here and not worried to make mistakes on more expensive cotton paper. And that's just why I tend to gravitate towards cellulose paper a lot more these days. Let's now turn the page to see if the paper buckled, and the answer is yes. Of course it did, because it's a very thin sheet of paper. However, when I do these kind of studies, I'm not planning to use gallons of water. So for me, this is totally fine. Now let's move on to cold press. Probably many people are used to this type of paper. To me, this is the most versatile kind of paper because it's a good mix between hot press and rough. So it has some texture, but it's very nice. It's kind of mild. Speaking for this product in particular, I love the fact that it comes in a block because I don't have to stretch the paper, which means less buckling, so very little preparation time. And when you're done with your painting, there are some spots you can just put your palette knife into and detach your painting from the block. Next one up, we have rough paper, 100% cotton. And this time I'm actually excited to try something that's a bit more textured, so I'm looking forward to sharing my thoughts with you on this one. Last but not least, we have hot press paper. Again, 100% cotton, 16 by 12 inches. This is such a good size. It's my go-to paper. I can use it whole and be very expressive on it, or I can just split it in half if I want to paint something smaller, and it's still a very decent size. And when you're looking at hot press, the sheet is very smooth. Okay, let's start with our side-by-side comparison. Okay, now I'm working on cold press and I'll be doing a simple gradient test. I'll be getting my paper wet and we'll see how the paint just behaves on this paper. Some phthalo blue. Okay, so this is our first gradient. You can see the paper is still wet and it blended very smoothly. Now let's try the same gradient on hot press, working still wet on wet. I'm using Holbein watercolors for these color swatches. So I'll be wetting the paper first. Let's see how this behaves. I can kind of feel like the paper keeps the color vibrant. And here, like the hot press, the paint just flows very freely, which is something very nice actually. I feel like you can move the paint around more without it getting streaky. Okay, so here I have a puddle of water. But you can definitely see right away the difference between the cold press and the hot press. Like here you can see a little bit of that toothy texture to the paper. And here is completely smooth, which is actually pretty nice. I like it. Now let's test the rough paper. Again, we're going to apply a thin layer of water. My paintbrush wasn't exactly clean. This time I'll make sure there are no puddles of water. I got a generous amount of phthalo blue from Holbein. And here you definitely don't see that drip of water going down. It actually, like the pigment gets kind of like trapped in the texture. I think this one is staying very vibrant. The fact that the roughness of the paper grabs the pigment and traps it in between the crevices, it makes the paint more vibrant. Next thing we're going to be testing is layering. I'll be laying down one line of blue on cold press, hot press, and rough and let it dry. And now you can also see me work wet on dry, by the way. We're gonna let that dry. Now onto the hot press. So much smoother. I actually love it. The paint spreads very evenly on hot press. Now on rough, that's quite different. You can feel like you need to help the paint go the way you want it to go. But it does look way more vibrant here. So we're gonna let these three squares dry for a moment. And now I want to work wet on wet, just like the way I paint. So I'll be switching to a round brush. Some wet on wet layering, increasing the paint consistency. Let's say I'm starting with yellow and yellow ochre. Let's see how much paint this paper can take. This consistency I'm going in is creamy. And I'm just drawing a circle. It's nothing really. It's more like for layering purposes. Now I'll be going over it with some Quinacridone Scarlet, which is one of my favorite reds. Here, some French ultramarine. See some lifting still when the paper is wet. Let's see how the paper blooms on cold press. I like it. Now let's try the same exercise on hot press with my wet paper, layering some thick consistency of yellow and yellow ochre. It's good. Now I'm going to be layer on top of that some Quinacridone Scarlet. And the colors are going to be slightly different. I mean, I'm going to be using the same colors, but the end result is going to be different for every swatch that I'm making. Now again, some French ultramarine mixed with that red, same red. And again, these are just like blobs. These are gradient testing exercises. Let's see how this one behaves with some thick consistency paint. Let's drop in some thicker pigment in here to see what happens. It's basically like working on any kind of professional paper so far. Some splatter. Let's see how the paper blooms. And now let's do the same exercise on rough paper. I'm going to draw a circle again of clear water, layer in some yellow. Now we're going to layer in again Quinacridone Scarlet. It's kind of like mixed with a touch of blue because I'm getting it from the same puddle I was using before. It definitely puddles more like it gets collected more in the little holes of the rough paper. And you can see actually how the paint spread, which is really good too. You don't have to help it or anything. And this is Holbein watercolor. It's not a paint that would spread like crazy, but even still you can see some movement on this paper. I would say this is a plus. See more of the spread on the rough paper as opposed to the hot press or the cold press. Okay. Now I'm going to drop in some thicker paint. That's the way I work in general when I taste gradients and also when I work in a real painting wet on wet. Now the paper here, it's definitely, I can tell the difference in timing with the drying because it's still very wet. Usually on cold press, with the amount of water that I use and the amount of paint that I've used, usually it starts to dry off a bit more when I work wet on wet, on cold press. But here the paper is still completely wet. It definitely gives you more time to paint, which is something that I'm also interested in. So far there are things that I like in every sheet of these papers. On rough, I like the vibrancy, and I also like how long it's taken for the paper to dry. On cold press, I like the smoothness, I like how easy the color blend, and I like just the overall look. And also hot press, I like that one too, because it dries off very smooth. It's pretty, it's very nice to see. Anyway, let's go ahead and layer. I'll be layering some quinacridone scarlet because now we know what it looks like. And I'll be layering first on this hot press just because it's in front of me. The paint just glides on the paper very easily. There is really no need on this hot press paper to help the paint blend together. And it looks very nice and clean. That's the overall look that you get on this hot press paper. Now I'm going to glaze on cold press, which is usually my favorite. I would say this result also looks very clean. It just needs a little bit more help with the blending, but that's expected because it's not a super smooth surface. Another thing is the paper is not buckling with the second layer, which is really good too. And now, finally, our rough paper has dried. I'm going to layer here some quinacridone scarlet. When working wet on dry on this paper, you can actually feel the texture a bit more. You can see a line between those two strokes was appearing. So I had to go over it and help it settle the way that I wanted to, which was absolutely no big deal. And now it's time for a side-by-side comparison. The hot press is smooth, clean. This one is perfect for detail work. Cold press is the perfect balance between the other two papers, and this is personally what I'm the most used to. Probably many of you also are using cold press just because it's really a well-balanced paper, versatile for all sorts of works. Then we have rough, which is very textured, and because of that it's not easy to get smooth brush strokes, but still you can get the paper to stay wet for longer, and this is going to be great if you're someone who works wet on wet for an extended period of time. Let's do some dry brushing now. I'll be starting here on hot press. You can see basically there is no texture. Cold press paper, dry brushing. You can see some texture. That's what happens. Now let's do the same test on rough. And this is exactly what I wanted to see. Loads of texture, perfect for painting landscapes or ocean scenes. And here you can see a side-by-side comparison, so you can actually see with your own eyes what the difference looks like. Let's also do some lining test here. On hot press, you can make very fine line and keep all the detail. On cold press, let's draw also here some lines. You can see that your brush gets a bit interrupted by the texture of the paper. And now on rough, you can probably see how the lines are not smooth. Lifting. Let's do some lifting on dry paper. I was almost forgetting. Let's see how it comes off. Yeah, lifting is also no problem. On rough paper, it is no problem. On hot press, let's find out. Now my water there is kind of like dirty, so can be picked up. But definitely here, my wash here is actually very light, but it is coming off. I don't think you're gonna struggle lifting. Let's try on this little swatch here. Maybe here is more noticeable. Let's see. Here, the lifting, now the paper here is dry, but the lifting is very good. Super easy to lift there. Now let's try the cold press. I kind of feel like on cold press I need to work it through a bit more as opposed to rough and hot press. But yeah, it comes off. So I would say that all three papers are really good. They all handle layering very well. And also the wet on wet test, I think I passed it very successfully. Like the gradients are smooth on all three papers really. I'm actually very impressed by this rough paper because I was expecting more resistance, but actually the paint just goes down very well. And same goes for cold press. It's very smooth, very clean. And hot press obviously gives you the best result when you're looking for smoothness. For the wet on wet test, on rough paper was much easier just because the paper stayed wet for longer. But overall, the look that I liked the best was the hot press paper. I think this is a very clean look. To the naked eye, you can actually see how the colors are blending together. The way the paper here handle these thicker cream consistency paints, melted butter, is really good too. It kind of got absorbed quite well on all three papers. Obviously, the fine lines were shining on the hot press. That's what this is best for. Rough, they weren't very impressive. We know that. But on the other side, if you want to look at the dry brushing on the rough, this is amazing. This is awesome for painting landscapes, water ripples, nature scenes, hot press, details, illustrations, and maybe botanicals. That's what it's for, basically. Like if you want something like that's very controlled, the gradients blend smoothly and all that, this is by far the best paper. For some reason, the paint is still wet on the cold press now. These are student grade papers, so they're not performing as the most professional brands, but in my opinion, they are still really, really good, especially if you combine them with professional grade watercolors. They performed really well here. I haven't done anything differently compared to when I paint on professional grade paper. I usually use arches. Probably you can tell the difference when you are working on multiple layers, something that goes beyond 2 to 3 layers. That's probably just a matter of the paper capacity to absorb the watercolor. If you're just someone like me who likes to test out gradients and have fun without thinking about the paper preciousness too much, this is a great paper for you. And when the pressure is less, also the outcome is better too. So overall, I had a very good impression of this paper. And again, if you were to be interested in trying this paper, I do have a coupon code for you. Just make sure to check out the description below. And now let's move on to my final thoughts. If you love detail and control, go with hot press. If you want the most versatile all-round option, go with cold press. If you instead love texture and granulation, rough paper is probably going to be your favorite. If you're looking for a place to organize swatches, experiments, and mixed media studies, Spiral Bound is a really useful addition. They're student grade, but the performance is strong for the price point, and especially when you pair with paints like Holbein. Anyways, let me know in the comments below which surface you prefer, if it's hot press, cold press, or rough. If you'd like to try them yourself, don't forget there's a discount code in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao!